have to leave at some point to shit.
What?
Welcome back to Podcast the Hero.
What?
This is a beautiful week for two beautiful men to share their feelings.
Yeah.
And eat some fucking corn.
Yeah. Speaking of corn, this episode is brought to you by Corn Man. Or Corn Bot, I should say. Yes. Corn Man made a robot in his image, much like Dr. Noonien Soong did when he created Data.
Data, yeah. And B4 and Lore.
Yeah. And so if you want to know what Cornbot looks like, just look at Corn Man.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same.
He's just made of corn.
Yeah. I think it's not great for Cornbot that the young generation, the younger than us, use the word corn instead of porn.
Yeah. Corn stars, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah. I don't love it.
Because it makes it seem like he's a porn bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
I find it interesting how the current TikTok, I want to call them TikTok generation, but it's not fair. But we censor ourselves on social media with things like that, and saying corn instead of porn and whatever. I feel like I can't swear anymore. And
you can't?
You can, of course, but
shit, piss.
The algorithm might just get you.
Oh,
might bite you right in the bottom and shadow ban you.
Oh.
I love the people on TikTok that are being like, I'm shadow banned right now. The TikTok algorithm is shadow banning me. And it's just no, really? You're just your content sucks and nobody's
I'm
watching
it
you
right now.
Yeah.
You're clearly not shadow banned.
Yeah. Just people love to say that they've been shadow banned when in reality it's just no, you just made bad stuff.
I'm not entirely convinced that shadow banning is a thing.
I agree.
I think it's just your content doesn't hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
Also, algorithms are stupid.
If shadow banning exists, we're shadow banned.
100%.
The next podcast is going to be us just going we're shadow banned. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe.
So that it'll hit the algorithm.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. Smash it super hard so that they'll lift our shadow ban.
The Patreon members channel and Discord is live.
Oh.
So if you're a Patreon member, you have your very own channel in Discord where you can post stuff and have chats with other Patreon members in our Discord. So you don't have to be in two separate ecosystems. You don't have to be oh, I gotta go on the Patreon to talk to the other Patreon people. You just do it in our Discord.
But that kind of is two separate ecosystems.
Why?
Because it's redirecting them from Patreon to Discord regardless.
Yeah. Just don't go to Patreon. There's nothing there.
But what about the Patreon?
There are polls. By the way, the Whitby Gaslight is currently leading 75% to 25%.
What was my gift again?
It was you showing how easy it is for you to write melodies as you put a melody to a song of mine and saying how easy it is to write a melody.
That's a funny idea, but the Whitby Gaslight
was a really good idea, and it really crushed me. It hurt my self-esteem a little bit.
But you know what? You proved it. You proved that it was not a very succinct thing, not a very true thing, because you came back and you wrote a melody over a whole song, and it was friggin' gorgeous.
It also goes to show that when you actually sing a thing, you get more votes, because the previous one where you sang about climbing into my body,
yeah,
that is still beating me. and my song with no vocals, just talking about your open ass. So that you're winning there. I also started posting, so we use Riverside to record this.
Yes. And
I started posting the show notes that Riverside's AI generates.
Ooh.
And they're pretty wild.
What does it say?
Like,
it goes through the whole episode and then like sort of summarizes it?
Yeah. But like it takes, so like in in episode 53, which is the episode, the most recent live episode that's out now. That's the one where we talk to John Wash, and it talks about how all three of us met and formed a band together.
So it doesn't listen to the episode at all.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about the Get Up Kids.
Yep. That was a thing that happened.
What else does it say? Yeah, there was a reunion at the dungeon.
That's true as well. I was there. Well, no, it wasn't a reunion.
Well, I know.
AI is fucking stupid. I like it. I like how it deprives artists of pay.
Yeah. And it also, and I like that it included stuff from after we stopped recording because it doesn't know.
Oh.
So it says discussion about a potential wedding conflict that is not in the episode, but it's just part of our conversation.
Wow.
So,
if there's any group of people that deserve to be like fucked over harder.
Yeah.
Artists.
Yeah, for sure. They're so full of themselves.
They're so full of themselves. Actually, that band Unleash the Archers. Unleash the Archers.
Archers, yeah.
Release the Hounds.
Yep.
They've got themselves in quite a bit of controversy now too.
Oh no.
With the use of AI, right? They made a music video where they fed it a bunch of images that they had commissioned. And then they turned it into a music video with AI.
Yeah.
And it was weird. Like I was kind of just reading about it at the park while my son was playing around. Because also in the release for their album, they were like, AI has been utilized in creation of this record. And people were like, hey, you need to clarify what the fuck you're talking about. Right. And then they did clarify, and they were like, we used it to help write lyrics and some other things that were like way less important. But like, when I read that, I was like, you used it to help write lyrics? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't have a problem with that necessarily. I just think that's corny as fuck.
Right.
Like, you can't write your own lyrics. Like, even if they're bad, it's better than just like copying and pasting them out of.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they did that. Right. Yeah. Like that's got to be the laziest thing, or it has to be a thing where you're like, we made an album and all the lyrics were AI. And here are the prompts that we used to generate it. Like we wanted to see what it would do, and we did it from an experimental creative place.
Yeah, they did say that it's a concept record and it plays into the concept. So that could be interesting. Like if the concept is about AI in some ways, and there's like passages that are like AI speaking. Yeah. That could be quite interesting. Or however, I haven't heard the fucking record, and to be honest, I probably won't.
Well, right, because they beat you guys for an award.
Yes, and my grapes are soured, and will remain so.
What do they call them? The Canadies? The Canadies.
That's right.
The Canadies. That's
the Canadies. But yeah, no, I just I find the controversy interesting. And obviously there's going to be more of it as artists attempt to utilize it or attempt to save money by utilizing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know like what's happening in like the internet content space, right? Like so many, you run across all these articles that are just clearly AI generated things.
Yeah.
It is very likely, and I don't know that I've read this, but it's very likely that there are websites now that you plug in a search term into Google and it takes your search term and just generates an article for that. I'm sure that exists.
That's cool. I know, like Reddit's like overrun with it.
Yeah.
Like, you find yourself being a horn dog and you go on Ask Reddit After Dark and it's all just like AI questions that you like know that it's AI and they're like, oh no, my sister-in-law or what, my step-sibling, my stepsister caught me masturbating. What do you guys think I should do? Shut up, you fucking robot.
And when you say shut up, you fucking robot, you mean Cornbot specifically.
That's the one I'm talking about, yeah.
This podcast is also brought to you by our patrons. Speaking of the Patreon, Davey and my actual mom signed up. Phi, Common Thread, Evan, Zane, Rody loves my dink.
Yeah, no, sorry, I spoke over Zane, so I'm going to thank Zane personally. Thank you, Zane.
Robert Anxiety. That's a great name.
Robert Anxiety.
Just Anxiety.
Is that on his driver's license?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mr. Robert Anxiety. I'll be
Deconomist, Matt,
getting on the highway.
Mushy, Zach, Kane, Zane and Kane, Dan, Cage, Pandas, Cornman, Jeffrey, Mason, TBJ, Anthony, Yuri, Nick, Fruit Punch Samurai, Ashwin, and High Tops.
All right. Seems short this week. Did we lose some?
No, it's all of them.
Oh, thank gosh.
Thank God. So, one of the things, I have to read those every episode, I swear. One of the things that I know people really like to hear from you specifically.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is about, like, everybody likes to know how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, everybody likes Rayman.
I hate how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the casing myself.
There's that guy that on YouTube that makes all those videos about, like, can you sausage it? And he'll be like, okay, so we're going to take this, like, this whole package of Oreos and make an Oreo sausage.
Oh, that sounds quite nice.
We're going to take, and he just takes, like, the weirdest shit and then sees if he can make it into a sausage. I don't like watching it.
Not even the Oreo one?
No.
I'd like
Not
to watch
even any of them.
But what is the casing made of? Is it?
He's got, like, sausage casing. He's a guy who makes sausages.
But what is sausage casing made of? Would it go good with Oreos?
No, I think sausage casing is like intestines.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh.
Isn't it? It's some kind of skin.
You literally just told me how the sausage got made, and I don't like it.
I know, I don't like it either. Jenny was, my wife was disassembling one of those rotisserie chickens tonight.
Oh, yes, I believe you call that butchering or processing.
Yeah, whatever she was doing, she was disassembling it, and the carcass was left, and I did not like that.
Is that not something you've experienced much in your...
I just didn't look at it with as much detail in the past as I looked at it today. Because she held it up in my face as I was going, that's so gross. And she goes, oh, look at it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to look at it.
Yes, for the listeners, Fritzy is a vegan and Jenny is unsympathetic.
I'm not a vegan. I ate the chicken. But I told her, I do not like how the sausage gets made. I just want to eat. I just want to eat the meat. I don't want to see where it came from.
I just like to put out the idea that Jenny is... forcing you to experience the massacre.
First of all, we have friends that are vegan, and she does do that to them.
No.
Yes.
No, sweet Jenny.
She is unsympathetic to vegans. And and likes to like push those buttons. I don't know. You know, she comes from a hunting family.
Yeah.
She had a lot of venison growing up.
Mealy.
I don't like it.
Gamey. It's not mealy. It's gamey.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I got venison by accident once.
You did?
Yeah.
Like how?
I was at a wedding and it looked like beef.
Oh. First of all, who's serving venison at a wedding? Get out of town.
I'd love to tell you, but I can't. He's very rich and very famous. That was my friend Adam.
So
he works at an insurance company.
So he is rich and famous.
He is rich.
He probably has a billboard though.
That's a good point.
Insurance people have billboards.
That's true.
Where they say like, "Hey, I'm rich and I can get you insurance."
He's not rich. His name's Adam.
So?
Rich?
Oh, he's not.
Just a joke.
Oh, I'm too tired.
I'm really tired too.
I'm too tired for my brain to function. What? Okay. This is terrible. So we were talking about how the sausage gets made.
Yes.
Right. So I think people would be interested to know, like, what kind of equipment do you use in the studio when you're doing, like, when you're recording a record, like microphones and like, how do you do it?
Yeah. I do it here. I haven't always. Like, if you watch the Volition documentary, which was called Of Our Own Volition, I did it at like Revolution. But last time we were recording Palimpsest, I was like, I don't want to leave my house. I'm scared to leave my house. So we rented a microphone. I have
rented a microphone?
Yeah. And
they have a microphone rental store?
Mm-hmm. It's called Any Music Store that does that. And yeah, I forget what it's called. I've always called it the U571.
After the submarine?
That's a submarine, yeah. But it's like called like a U80. You are a. Let me just look. It's over here.
It's also like the NPR microphone.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's this microphone. It's a Newman microphone.
U87.
U87 AI.
Yep.
So after we rented it for a while, I used it in my basement and really liked it. And I was like, can the band buy that? And they did.
It's very nice of them.
And yeah, so I go U87 into a Golden Age Pre-73, which I have recalled off the top of my head as it's sitting right in front of me, and I'm using it now. And then I go into an interface. Any interface.
Any interface?
Yeah, pretty much. Right now I have the Apollo Twin X, which is quite nice. And you slug it into a computer and you go.
And then you just sing everything all at once.
That's right. I go all the way through every song only once, and then they print it.
A single take, every song.
Yep, I single take everything.
And then, like, where there are breaks between the lyrics in the song, they cut it.
Well, they just keep playing. They keep playing it. And then I listen to it until my next singing part comes up.
Oh, I thought you just sang all the words. Just like all together. All at once.
Oh, yes, very, very quickly.
all the way through. You're done in like 15 minutes.
It's an eternity, Fritzy. It's a nightmare.
It should be 15 minutes.
It isn't. I heard that
it isn't.
The singer Escal did all her vocals for the record in a single day. And I love that.
I understand it a little bit in terms of your voice changes. Everybody's voice changes from day to day.
Yeah.
Right. So if you really want everything to sound the same across your record, right, from track to track.
Yep.
If you sing them all on the same day, that's as close as you're going to get to every song sounding exactly the same in terms of where your voice is.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, we tried to record Palimpsest several times when my voice was in rough shape. And we had to go back. I recorded several different versions of the Canary because we switched the microphones out. Like when Des came down and he was doing it, he had these very specific microphones. I forget from which company. And we recorded it, but then when we came back to try again several months later, it's not like we could use it. Detroit scored on a power play. It's not like we could use it because we weren't going to continue using those same microphones because Des had them rented and we didn't have the same fucking ones.
Right.
And so the sound would have been so fucking different that we had to start again. And by the time we finished recording the Canary, I never wanted to hear it again in my life.
But you have.
Unfortunately so, yeah.
And you love it.
Yeah.
You listen to it every night before bed.
I just like it so much that it helps me sleep.
Yep. It's how you, at the end of the day, no matter how good or bad your day was.
Yep.
Right. At the end of the day, you put that on and you go, I've done something. I'm okay.
Brings me back down. Reset. Right. Like if I'm feeling too good on myself, I listen to it and I go, I'm not that good. That just resets me. If I'm feeling really down, I listen to it and I go, well, not that good, but not as bad as I feel right now. Leafs are on the West Coast. I've been staying up late to watch the games. I'm tired.
That's allowable.
What's allowable?
Allowable.
Oh, allowable.
To be tired from watching hockey.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
I stay up late and I get up early.
Yeah.
And it makes me a fucking cool chody.
Yeah. That's I have a similar problem. Boing, yoing, yoing.
Audio listeners, he's making a jerking off motion with his hands. He has.
You can only tell from my shoulders. You can't actually see my hands. You can't actually see my hands. They're under the desks. You don't know what's actually going on.
Maybe he's just shrugging only one shoulder. He's really complacent, but only in half his body.
So you use the same stuff for the podcast?
Essentially, yeah.
Except your mic. You don't use that
microphone.
Mic.
Yeah, no. I got this microphone a long time ago when Cam was just getting into audio engineering stuff, and he was like, "That's the one, dude. It's affordable. It sounds great on everyone." And then I tried to record with it, and Cam was like, "Ooh, it makes your voice sound really thin." And I've never sounded good singing into an SM7B. And that's just the truth. Like, I've gone to other studios to do like other little projects with dudes, and they'll have like a SM7B, and I'll be like, "Oh, I've been told that I sound bad in those," and they're like, "Nobody sounds bad in these." And I'll start singing. They'll be like, maybe we'll just switch that one out.
So weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have an ear for that kind of thing, like that, like sonic quality that requires like precision.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking know. That's why I'm using it now. Maybe it makes my voice sound bad on the podcast.
Probably doesn't.
Who knows?
So the key thing with podcast recording is much different than like recording singing vocals is like a lot of people listen to podcasts in the car. And I took this idea actually from an article and video that NPR did about how they get their signature sound and like why it's different from other when you hear like news stations and stuff on the radio, why it sounds different. And it's because they really cut the low end in their mix. They chop out the low end almost completely because they know most people who are listening to NPR are listening in their cars, and there's a lot of low end sound. And so to make it cut through so that you can hear them clearly, they get rid of all the low end. And I think that's a lot the same for podcasts. People are usually in their cars or on their way to work or doing different things. They're not usually just like sitting quietly with a pair of headphones listening to a podcast. And so I try to cut out a little bit of that low end and boost the mids and the upper mids a little bit. And then, so I think it works to your benefit.
I just had a good idea.
Oh, shit.
And it's happening now.
Okay.
So we've been talking a lot about AI.
Yeah.
And I thought it might be funny to do an AI scripted podcast.
Yes.
So I have prompted into a podcast or an AI thing. It's fucking Chat GPT because that's the only one I've ever heard of. And I have here a script for a podcast.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to you. You and I are going to go back and forth and read it. I haven't read it. And this is going to be a full episode of our podcast.
It's not that long.
I know. No, it's not going to be a full episode of the podcast.
Okay,
We're just going to show everyone the future of podcasting.
Yeah. This is great. Okay, you go.
I didn't tell it what the podcast was called, so it got the
It's fine. This is now the new name of the podcast. We're going to completely rebrand based on this.
This is how we're going to do our podcast from now on.
Yep.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rody's Melody. I am your host Rody, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend, the one and only Fritzy the Prospector. How you doing today, Fritzy?
Howdy there, Rody. I'm doing just fine. Just wishing I'd struck gold by now, you know.
Oh, Fritzy, always on the hunt for that elusive gold. Maybe one day you'll find it. But until then, we've got some great music to share with our listeners.
Well, I reckon music is the real treasure, ain't it? Speaking of which, Rody, what tune are we kicking off with today?
Absolutely, Fritzy. Today, I've got a special one for you. It's a soulful ballad that I wrote called Golden Dreams. It's about chasing your dreams, and well, you might find a little metaphorical gold along the way.
Ah, dreams and gold. Sounds like a perfect combination. Let's give it a spin.
Then you got to pretend we played Golden Dreams or wrote a song called Golden Dreams. I hope y'all enjoyed that one. Now, Fritzy, I heard you've been strumming on that old banjo of yours lately. Any progress on your musical journeys?
Well, Rody, I'm still learning the ropes, but I'm getting there. I figure if I can find gold in the ground, maybe I can find it in the strings of this banjo.
That's the spirit, Fritzy. Music's all about the journey, just like prospecting. Now, I've also been working on a new song inspired by your adventures. It's called Fritzy's Quests. It's got a twangy vibe to it, perfect for a prospector on the hunt.
Well, hot dog! I'm honored, Rody. Let's give it a listen.
Now you have to pretend that we're playing the song Fritzy's Quest. Hope you liked that one, folks. Fritzy, I think you've got yourself an anthem now.
Well, I'll be hornswoggled.
Hornswoggled? What the hell is hornswoggled?
That sure is something. Maybe this tune will bring me some luck in finding that gold after all.
Who knows, Fritzy? Music has a way of working its magic. Now, before we wrap things up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Well, folks, remember that even if you haven't found your gold yet, there's always a melody to lift your spirits. Keep on searching, keep on singing, And who knows, maybe one day we'll all strike it rich, whether it's in music or gold.
Well said, Fritzy. And with that, we'll wrap up another episode of Rody's Melody. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, keep the music alive and the dreams golden. I did ask it to make you a prospector, an unsuccessful prospector.
What made you even think of that?
I don't know. I was trying to listen to what you were saying.
I feel like I'm just Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. The other guy, I wrote, write me a script for my podcast. I am Rody and I am a singer. The other guy is Fritzy and he's a horny old prospector who has never found any gold.
That is 100% correct.
Remember when it made you say hornswoggled?
Yeah.
What is that?
I'll be hornswoggled.
We'll all be hornswoggled. Maybe AI is good.
Maybe. It might be.
Sorry.
Sorry, why? That was amazing.
Was that a good idea?
Yeah, it was really funny. We should do that all the time.
All right.
We should let the Patreon people decide what the prompts are.
Okay.
We should do that. We'll put a post out on Patreon. Let folks give us some AI prompts for podcast episodes.
Yeah. I got to say, though, I wouldn't listen to that podcast.
You wouldn't?
Not that one that we just performed.
Rody's Melody?
Rody's Melody. No, I haven't. It's not for me. It would be weird to have a podcast where, like, you're just talking and be like, funny you mentioned that. I wrote a song about it.
Right.
That just like happens a bunch of times throughout the episode.
I thought it was funny that it brought up a banjo. Like I was tempted to go grab my banjo. I don't know how to play it.
I saw your temptation.
I was like, I want to.
That's exactly what you were like.
I got finger picks and everything.
You do?
Yeah, because I don't know how to play it, but I figure that's how they play it.
You finger?
Yep, you finger it. Are this microphone and your microphone not the same microphone?
Are they the same or are they not?
They are not.
No, I know.
No, yours is SM7B. Mine is the very cheap version of that called the MX7V. Oh, MV7X.
Yeah. I mean, sounds good to me.
And it looks the same, which is the most important.
It does and it doesn't.
I mean, I know this connects here and yours connects up here.
But you can plug headphones into the back of yours, can't you?
Can I? Probably.
I'm pretty sure you can put like a little... You know what? I don't know the difference between 1/4-inch and 8-inch jack. Which one's which?
1/4-inch is the bigger one around.
Oh, don't make that hand signal.
How do you like that? How are you supposed to make it the size of a ring?
You horny old prospector. So 1/4-inch is the big one?
This is 1/4-inch.
And 1/8 inch is the like normal.
Is like the little headphoney ones.
It's for amateurs.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be hornswoggled. Go on.
Do you use a camera? People often comment on our cameras.
Our cameras are the same.
They're exactly the same.
Yeah. We use the Sony AM7B. We
do?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we use Sony A5300s, A5000s.
Okay.
No, A5300s, I think.
Sure.
Whatever. But now they're the same now.
Yeah.
So that the image quality is the same.
You used to just use a shitty old webcam and it looked great.
No, it didn't. It really didn't. It was very clear that like half of the screen had like a good camera and the other half of the screen had a very less good camera. And that drove me nuts.
I thought it was really good.
It's a good webcam, but it's a webcam. It's not an actual camera.
Well,
so I got real jealous and had to get me one. So I got it.
Looking okay. Sharp.
And then for the most part, I have a microphone amp and a audio interface. I use a Studio V3 tube preamp for my mic, and I use a Scarlett 2i2 for my audio input. And that's it. That's all you need.
This has been Rig Rundown with Podcast The Hero.
Yep.
Join us next week for Bus Invaders.
Bus Invaders? Is that a thing?
You've never seen Bus Invaders?
No.
They just like come into your bus and they're like, show us around your bus. And people are like, it's a van. There's garbage on the floor here.
We stopped at Taco Bell yesterday and Taco Bell on the day before that. And we stopped at Taco Bell the day before that.
Bus Invaders is great, though. I watched Tesseract do one just the other day. It was fun.
I like Rig Rundown.
Yeah, I'm not as interested in that.
Yeah, because you're the singer.
It is helpful, though. I watched, like, when I was trying to get my Twitch stream going, I watched Matt Heafy, like, show exactly what he has and what he does, and it was, like, really helpful to, like, get the fucking rigs to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that kind of should be a requirement on Twitch. Mm-hmm. That you have to put your like setup specs, so people will be like, "Oh, I really like what they did here," or like, "I wonder what lights they use." Whatever, just like put your specs in there.
Yeah, but for like a guy like me, I don't fucking care about that stuff. You know, like I know like a lot of people do list what they are using on Twitch.
Yeah,
and I would never read it. Never in a million years ago. I don't fucking care. Oh, it looks good.
You're all about the content, not the aesthetic.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Why make such shitty content?
Can we talk about
aesthetic?
Can we talk about clarity?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about clarity.
I do too.
And part of the reason I wanted to talk about clarity is one, there's a really nice Volition anniversary box set that's out there that is lovely. And people should, I don't even know if it's still available, but if it is, people should grab it.
I'm sure it is. I don't have a copy of it just yet. Truk had spoken about getting me a copy of it, but neither of us followed up because those are the kind of guys we are. But yeah, I just saw like this sort of first, not first pressing, but they sent me like a digital copy of the book. Mm-hmm. That I worked on for a long time, and it's really cool. So like, obviously the book will go into a lot more depth on the song meanings than we're going to go into here, because we go on wild tangents and often just barely skim the surface of the song.
Oh yeah. We break down these songs in so little depth that we shouldn't call them song jaculations or song explosions or anything. We should like call them song abrasions.
We should call them skipping off the top of each song to see how many skips we can get on the water.
Yeah. So the other reason I wanted to talk about the song is because I just finished Strange New Worlds. I'm deep into Lower Decks. And when I finish Lower Decks, I will have run out of Star Trek to watch.
Wow.
And I'm kind of dreading it. I think I'll probably just start over.
It's kind of what you do. I've watched TNG probably 10 times in its entirety.
Yeah. But this song uses the Star Trek versus Star Wars rivalry. What do you call it?
Hatred? I think it's just it's a comparison, right? Like it always comes from a place of bias. Yeah, it's a rivalry of sorts, but like it's a meaningless comparison. And that was sort of the heart of the song, is that it's like comparison is cancerous.
Yeah.
And is helpful to no one.
Yeah.
And I also got to talk about Star Trek a bunch in a way that most people were like, this song's about Star Trek. But it's not really.
Well, and for people who don't watch Star Trek, Like, there's a very big Star Wars reference that I think a lot of Star Wars people will be like, oh, wait, this is about Star Wars?
That's right. I say over and over again, Luke and Leia are brothers. They shouldn't be kissing.
They're brothers?
They're brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I misspoke, but I'm going to go with it. Over and over again, I say that, and I say there is no incest in Star Trek.
No, there isn't.
No.
There is in Game of Thrones.
Of course.
There is in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And there is on Pornhub.
Yep. And what was Jenny's relation to you again? No, you're right. There is none in your household.
There is none in my house.
Wonder if there's any in mine.
I mean, I think if you probably go back far enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it in the royal family.
Well, of course.
That's a little yucky.
There was so much incest in like the royalty in ancient Egypt that I don't think that the King Tutankhamun, the King of Kings, and when they've exhumed him and looked at his corpse, like there was so much incest that they don't think that he was capable of walking at any point in his life.
Whoa. There's that great 30 Rock episode with Paul Rubens.
Did you say Third Rock from the Sun?
No, 30 Rock. That's the one that's like the fake SNL. Tina Fey.
And the aliens?
No, that's Third Rock from the Sun.
Does it have that guy from Harry and the Hendersons in it?
Well, I think he does show up at some point, maybe. But
yeah, he probably would be in that show at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
No. But there's an episode where Paul Rubens is the last living Habsburg. And the Habsburgs family like ruled all of Europe in the 1800s, basically, like and into the early 1900s, like the Romanovs, the Russian.
Oh, right. It's the Habsfields and the McCoys.
Yes.
Big battle between them as well, I believe.
Yes. There was.
Sorry, I'm going to stop.
No, it's okay. Anyway, incest. Okay. No incest in Star Trek.
None.
I
forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, we're talking about clarity.
You're entirely sure, though?
You can never be sure because there's a lot of it, right? And as far as
there's also like a lot of time travel.
That's true.
So there could be situations where like Riker is his own son and his own grandfather.
Yeah, you know what? There is that episode where William Riker and Thomas Riker share a kiss.
No.
But they are the same man, so is that incestuous?
I don't know. I don't think so. They're the same guy.
Yeah, that's just practicing self-love.
They should have done a spin-off show with Thomas Riker.
Thomas Riker.
And followed the adventures of Thomas Riker.
I wouldn't watch it.
What were you watching when you wrote this song?
Star Trek.
Were you like specifically watching Star Trek?
I mean, like I'm always watching Star Trek. I don't know exactly what I was watching. I was just like thinking in a way that it was like, like where we were at in our career was like a real downed spot, very common phrase. A lot of people.
The thing that's on the side of your house.
That's right.
You were in a down. You were all stuck in a downspout.
But we weren't feeling very good about like where we were in the world and like watching bands like leapfrog us and all sorts of stuff. And that's like, I realized what was hurting me the most was comparing myself to others. And the comparison is rarely apt and never helpful. You know what I mean? So like I wrapped it up in this simple and kind of silly analogy about Star Wars and Star Trek and how it's like, yeah, you have a preference for one or the other. Detroit scored. Why am I cheering for Detroit?
I don't know. You shouldn't be, but it's Patrick Kane.
Excited for you. But yeah, I wrapped it up in this analogy that was about how, Star Wars and Star Trek have these like feuding fan bases, and the comparison is constantly made, but like they're not the same at all.
Mm-mm.
Like not even fucking remotely close. Like even if you want to strip it down to like one is primarily movies and one is primarily television, they're very different mediums. Outside of that, it's like, it's not even, yeah, they sort of all live in science fiction together, but they're not really even the same fucking genre.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that much in common.
Yeah.
And I get that the setting
space
makes it something that you want to compare, but like
it's a show with space. They're both shows or movies or whatever with spaceships, but that's it.
Yeah, and there is some overlap, right? Like it's really funny. I always love when I'm having the debate with someone, because I do still get in the debate, of course.
Yeah.
I love to bring up that like Wrath of Khan, like Star Trek was like so innovative, and like Wrath of Khan has the first ever fully CGI scene like ever. And people are always like, oh, what am I going to say to that? And then like there is a counterpoint, and I always say it, which is that, it was done by Industrial Lights and Sound or whatever. It was done by George Lucas's company.
Right. Yeah.
We're not really talking about clarity.
I think the message of the song, though, when it was written, was sort of the birth, around the birth of social media, right? Mm. Like Instagram wasn't a thing back then. Really, right?
It may have been just
maybe just starting, but
yeah.
So these social media definitely wasn't what it is today. And there are now, studies being done of the impacts on people, comparing their lives to, people, influencers' lives on social media, and the mental impact that has on kids and teenagers, and, trying to make your life look like the lives you see on social media and stuff. Like, it's a very apt message today. So like 10 years on, it still holds up. The message is still valid, and even maybe more so in the society that we live in right now.
It's a very important song to our current state of humanity.
It is. So you should be out like telling people about it.
I did for a long time. It's called touring. I stopped because it wasn't that fun.
I thought maybe you were watching Battlestar Galactica at the time.
It's pronounced Beetlestar Galactifoot, and I may have been, because I also do enjoy Beetlestar Galactifoot.
It's really good.
I love Battlestar.
It's great.
I also love The Office, but I get a little resentful that Battlestar is for geeks. When Battlestar's for everyone, you just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
James Edward fucking almost, dude.
Yeah. Stand and deliver, bro.
Yeah. Mo always wanted to, and it's Mo's birthday today. Mo always wanted to start a band called The Final Five, which is from Battlestar Galactica, and pretty fucking cool band name.
Yeah, it is. Why didn't you guys change your name?
Well,
there were five of you.
We were fairly established at the time, so we didn't want to mess things up.
I don't know. That seems like a cop out to me.
It's a misstep. You're right.
Did you know that this was going to be the first song on the record?
No. I'm trying to think how they were written and what order they were written in. it just had to be. It just had to be the way that it goes. Like the order kind of picks itself, as stupid as that is. Like you do spend a lot of time like laboring over it and like going back and forth being like, I think this should be, I think this should be. But like at the end of the day, you kind of just go like, it picks itself. It just makes sense. And like nobody ever disagrees. It's usually Truk and I at the end of the day, I would say, that really hammer it down. But ultimately it's just like, there's not a whole lot you can do. Like, for instance, on Palimpsest, it was just like, or no, let's stick with Volition because Volition is what we're talking about. Starts with fucking Clarity. Where is Skies supposed to go? It has to end the record.
Yeah, it does.
We don't have a choice about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it makes it feel like, free will doesn't exist.
It might not, but also you should.
It doesn't.
The next time so this is what you should do. The next time you're like, well, this song has to be first or this song has to be last. It just makes total sense. Put it in the middle.
Yeah, that's a funny idea. Just to prove that I have free will and that God is real.
Yeah. This and the opening lyrics to that song need to be, this should be the last song on the record.
But it's right there in the middle.
Putting it in the middle.
You know what? Actually, I'm thinking of an example where it was not like that. So, or where we sort of, I guess we'd had disagreements, but like we're fairly easygoing, right? Like nobody really feels that strongly about anything.
Yeah.
But not Palimpsest, Pacific Myth.
Yeah.
People may have noticed that we released Ragged Tooth before Title.
Mm-hmm.
But I had written Title before Ragged Tooth because it was just like, it starts with like just like a punk beat.
Yeah.
And it's like, I find that so easy to like write over whatever, for whatever reason. Like if I have a fucking word set that says anything, I can fit it over a punk beat and it's just like, it is what it is and it's fine. So I wrote Title first, but Ragged Tooth was intended to be first and it was released first. So after it was all released, like they were getting it ready and I was like, hey, so I fucked up and Title has to actually come first, like on the record. Otherwise, like the lyrics don't make any sense. Like it's telling like a story and it's got to follow this one path and you can't swap those. And like I was obviously like weird and sheepish about it, and Truk was just like, "Yeah, that's fine. Give a fuck."
Good. I'm glad that it. Well, I mean, but it ended up where it was supposed to end up.
Yeah.
So you don't have free will.
Free will doesn't exist.
Yeah, no.
What's that guy that says free will doesn't exist? Sam
Kinison.
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, the actor.
You said Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Ow!
I mean, you said Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, that's probably him. I can't remember his name.
Is he like a philosopher?
Yeah, but I think he's also like really Islamophobic.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Just because he hates every religion.
Oh.
But mostly, I don't know. I don't fucking even know who it is. I'm just, he argues against free will and he's probably right, but I think he's also said a bunch of other stuff that's not sick.
I love how we laugh.
Huh?
I love how the wheezy laugh is my favorite laugh.
My buddy Manny does a lot worse than me, but I didn't even really realize I did it until we started doing this thing. And then I started hearing myself all the time going, I hope the AI cuts that all out and it just sounds like I'm silent.
No. There's a website called songtell.com.
Hell yeah.
I suspect that it is generated by AI.
A lot of AI going on.
Yeah. And this is what Songtell says about Clarity.
Sick.
The song Clarity by Protest the Hero explores themes of conflict, misdirection, and the complexity of societal relationships. Throughout the lyrics, the song suggests that there is a lack of clarity and understanding in the world, which leads to turmoil and clashes between different factions. The lyrics begin with the idea of a comparison being drawn between a distant future and a cluttered past. This juxtaposition highlights the ambiguity and lack of consistency that exists within society. The song also references the presence of loud voices and uninspired ideas, suggesting that the majority often dominates even if their ideas are not necessarily right. The lyrics touch upon the concept of connection and how it can be easily misunderstood or manipulated. Smoke-filled halls and mirrors symbolize the misleading nature of information and the ways in which it can be distorted. There is a call to let go of these illusions and seek a clearer understanding. The song also delves into the idea of conflict and division. It suggests that there is no common thread or ties that bind us, but rather a grasping at threads. The historical analysis mentioned highlights the different factions play separate roles, but one group contributes more to the whole. This implies that certain factions have more influence and power in shaping society. The perspective of Clarity shifts as Jada Kelly takes over the vocals. She reaffirms the idea that we, presumably humanity, are both the beginning and the end. The lyrics emphasize the potential for mutual destruction, suggesting that affluence permits this annihilation. The song continues to question the legitimacy of different perspectives and the conflict between fiction and reality. It asks, how can two seemingly opposing franchises coexist on the same tier, implying that there is a lack of understanding between different factions. The lyrics end with the idea of a drought being relieved with acid rain. This metaphor highlights the destructive nature of societal conflicts and how they can temporarily alleviate other issues. The song concludes with a reminder that humanity is both the beginning and the end, hinting at our collective responsibility for the state of the world. Overall, Clarity by Protest the Hero explores the complexities of societal conflicts, highlighting the lack of understanding, misdirection, and the potential for mutual destruction. It suggests that seeking true clarity and understanding is crucial for a better future.
I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Like at times I was like, this is like kind of exactly it.
Yeah.
At other times I was like, it's falling off here. It's going off on some bullshit. And then at other times I was like, it's just rearranging the lyrics. Yeah. It's just saying them differently than I sang them.
Yeah.
I like it overall. I like what that thing did. I would have liked if at the end it was like, overall, the song is just about Star Trek. Or it was like, Star Trek is pretty good. And Star Wars is pretty good as well. That's funny as hell.
Metal Sucks.
Yep.
Says that the video for Clarity looks like it cost maybe $100 to make, but is still one of the most entertaining videos you'll see all year.
It costs way more than $100 to make. I gotta think it cost thousands of dollars. Not tens of thousands, but thousands. I don't even remember, like, for Volition, we were just sending some guy money and he was sending us back music videos.
Yeah.
I think he's in Salt Lake City. I think he was like I don't know, but like he did a good job.
Is it possible?
Like, he made a whole like clash of shit. There was some stuff in the Clarity video that I was like, that's pretty horny. I don't like how horny it's getting. But like, he must have put so much work into that. And like, we literally just sent him like money and he sent us back these great videos. I don't even know who he is. I wish I did. So I can say thank you.
Is it possible that it was an AI?
No, this was 2011.
So
2013. You're right. It was possible.
Yeah. And also the government had AI way before we had access to it.
Is that true?
Yeah, for sure. There were government agencies using AI long ago.
Is that true though?
Sure.
Is that Trudeau?
Yes, it is. That's where Trudeau. Do you think Trudeau got his name?
It's Justin Trudeau.
One last question about Clarity.
Yeah.
Has Muskie finally learned the lyrics?
No.
Okay, good.
100% not.
Awesome.
And in fairness to him, it is a peculiar lyric.
It is.
So
it exists. It exists specifically for like timing and like tempo, right? Like it was like, I got to make it fit in here. Nice. How do I make that fit? Right.
Yeah. It's a hilarious little simile, if you will. But the part, so I will explain for people who haven't listened to previous podcasts that don't know, Muskie is a beloved member of the Discord, and we were playing Clarity one night in...
It's probably Guelph.
I want to say Thorold.
Oh, maybe
Thorold. Every time I say Thorold,
yeah,
that is how you say it. Every time I say it, people who know what it is go,
do you mean?
I was talking to this one guy in the tattoo shop, great guy, fucking loving him to bits, and I was like, you ever been to Thorold? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, weird little town just outside of St. Catharines. It got this shitty little bar. And he was like, Thorold? Or whatever the fuck it is. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I grew up there. And I was just saying it so wrong that he didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But yeah, so we were playing that show. We were playing Clarity. I saw Muskie up front. He was like having a great time, singing along, being a cool dude. And then the part came up, like a saucer sip, let's separate. And I just fucking put the microphone to him and he froze. Yeah. Whatever. We played Guelph a couple nights later. It wasn't a big deal. It was funny. We played Guelph a couple nights later and it was like a floor show, like old school, fucking cool as shit. But Muskie was like right there. So like I let him know, like kind of as the song was starting, I was like, it's coming back. And I walked over to him when it came up and he got a lot closer to what the lyrics were, but he didn't get the lyrics. And then like even later on the Discord, he was like, I know the lyrics, okay? It's like a saucer sacked or whatever he said. He got the lyrics wrong again. But like the lyric is like a saucer sep.
Yeah.
Let's separate.
Yeah.
Which is like, they're like, prepare for saucer sep. And sep means separation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, they're talking short form. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, they did it like a bunch of times in the first season. That's how you say it?
Season?
In English?
Yeah.
In the first season of TNG, they would constantly separate the saucer and they'd be on the battle bridge. Yeah. And like both sections just looked stupid.
Yeah.
It was a cool idea in theory, but then like after the first season, someone was like, hey, this sucks. Probably costs a fuck ton of money to do. And it looks idiotic. So they stopped doing it. And that's also kind of the idea is like, yeah, like a saucer set, let's separate, let's fucking do that. But it's like, hey, let's just stop. Let's stop doing this.
Yeah.
You know, season 1's over.
Yeah.
It's not the fucking, both things are past their prime anyway.
In your opinion.
Yeah, but my opinion is rule.
I don't know.
That's, you know what, the whole line, and this is me again projecting my opinion as fact. The whole line about affluence permitting a mutual annihilation is about how they're just going to keep making more and more of it until no one ever wants to see it again. And the quality's just going to get worse and worse.
Right. Which is what Marvel did.
Yeah, it is what Star Trek and Star Wars have done as well.
Yeah.
There are notable exceptions within both franchises, but there's like so much of it and like very little quality.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they've like been making, like,
but
is Picard good?
If you can pump money out of something, right? Like there's
it's like the Saw movie franchise too.
Oh yeah, I stopped watching those.
I used to love them. We used to go every Halloween. We'd eat a little fucking marijuana candy, and then we go watch the Saw movies and have the best time, the blessed time.
The bloodest time.
We went right up until, I think we continued our tradition for 4 years, until the fourth movie, and then I remember Truk just being like, as long as people keep watching these movies, they'll keep making them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, yeah, the fucking magic's gone, man. And they've just made a new one.
Mm. Yeah. Yep.
Like Saw 36 or something like that.
Why were the Kardashians on television for so long?
Well,
people keep watching them.
That's quality entertainment.
They're going to keep making them.
Here's the thing that makes no sense. Why does Land Before Time got so many movies? Nobody's seen any of them other than the first one.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, somebody must be watching them.
Nuh-uh.
Just because you're not watching them doesn't mean that nobody's watching them.
Nobody's watching them.
How do you know?
Even my son. He watched a couple of the episodes of whatever they had. Actually, there was this. They're all musicals also, outside of the first one.
Yeah.
Every other single one's a musical. I think Don Bluth just came from, he's got an endless resource of money, and it's a pet project of his. He does it for the love.
It's his dream.
Not for the money. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I have a game for us.
I wish I had a game.
Well, good for you that I have two. So these are quizzes. The first one is a which Star Trek captain are you quiz.
Ooh.
So you're going to answer these.
What's it called when you can choose multiple things?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
It's multiple choice. So here we go. I'm going to start. The Borg are coming and you must take immediate action. Resistance is not futile. What is your order, Captain? Is it raise the shields, all stations, full alert, do not fire? Is it open a hailing frequency, fire all phasers and armed torpedoes? Or who is this Borg queen? She's kind of hot.
Who is this Borg queen? She's kind of hot.
Okay, next.
I am fucking super into the Borg queen.
Set phasers to stun, kill, disintegrate, or sexy.
Stun.
Okay.
Sorry. No.
Would you consider yourself to be impulsive? It may seem that way, but I know most of the angles. Yep, I go with my gut because it's usually right. Or no, I think things through to the last detail.
Sorry, can you repeat all of that?
It may seem like I'm impulsive, but I know most of the angles.
Okay.
Or, yep, I go with my gut because it's usually right. Or, no, I think things through to the last detail.
I know B is Kirk, but that's the truth. I go with my gut, whether it's right or wrong.
I know who you're trying to be. Who you want to be.
Yeah, I want to be Picard, but I'm not.
A planet with a primitive culture unaware of the Federation holds the key to defeating an unprecedented and hostile rogue Romulan Klingon alliance. How do you proceed? I proceed carefully. The Prime Directive cannot be violated. Prime Directive be damned. It's for the greater good. The ethical line is clear, but I would cross it if I have to.
That one?
Yeah. It's not I teleport in with no pants.
Shit, it might be that. No, it is like that is the right thing to do, okay? When the rules don't make sense, you break them.
Okay. How would you handle a subordinate questioning your orders? I know what's right for my...
What did you just say to me?
What? I know what's right for my ship. I'd hear them out. The more information, the better. Let's just say I'd make sure they'd rethink questioning my orders in the future. It really depends on who's doing the questioning.
It's the last one.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it in context of my life.
Yeah, that's the way you should be thinking about it.
If someone's asking me questions or questioning what I'm talking about, depends on who they are.
Right.
Sometimes I'll listen to them.
Yeah.
If I don't like them, I'm going to turn the other cheek and they can kiss it, man.
All right. Everyone makes mistakes, and in space, nobody gives out participation trophies. So how do you deal with disappointment? I'm prohibited by court order from discussing the details. I use it as motivation. I usually bury myself in sin for a while until it passes. I punish myself relentlessly. If Q sent you to the Delta Quadrant and cut you off from communication and supplies, what would you make your primary mission? Revenge? I don't think you can get revenge on Q.
No, I also don't think any of the captains would be... Like, you can make an argument that Kirk is in relation to, like, Khan, but, like, none of the captains are going to fucking set themselves solely on revenge, I don't think. Yeah. Especially not in that kind of scenario.
Exploration and research. I think we know whose that is. Find a way home, or at least somewhere to boldly go. Not dying would be high on the list.
So this is like a questionnaire from a website.
Yeah.
Because all of them would do essentially the same thing. Yeah. Right? Plot a course home and fucking pick up as much information as they can about the Delta Quadrant. Yeah. That's I don't see any other fucking stupid. Just pick any of them.
Temper. How's your temper? I have a short fuse. I have a shorter fuse. I have a long fuse, but you don't want to be around when I explode. I'm a pretty relaxed character.
I think I'm pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I'm angry, I'm joking. Is that on there?
No. What would you do with access to the holodeck?
Oh, I would fuck myself.
I'd create famous moments in history and study them from the inside. I'd work on my fighting skills with the masters. I'd use it as an escape from the pressures of day-to-day life. There were these Trojan twins that I never had the chance to...
I'd use it to escape my life. I'd play baseball with Cisco.
This is wonderful. I love that the last question is, what are your thoughts on Star Wars? Totally fake? Pretty cool, but the lack of diplomatic solutions is alarming. I think Han Solo would make an excellent captain of a Federation ship. I think Han Solo would be court-martialed in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Go with the pretty cool but lack of diplomatic relations. Dildo-matic erections. I have a game as well.
Oh, did you just make it up?
No. AI did. I typed in the prompt, make up a trivia multiple choice game about animal dicks.
Animal dicks.
And it said, I'm sorry, but I cannot create content that is explicit or inappropriate. If you have any other non-explicit topic or subjects you'd like trivia game about, feel free to ask. I'd be happy to help. To create a multiple choice trivia game about something wildly stupid. And here we have our game. Wait, did we find out what captain I was?
Not yet.
God damn it. How long is it going to take?
I don't know. It like froze up or something.
We
may never know.
I hope I'm Jonathan Archer. This is going to fucking bother you, this game that it's made up. I'm looking at it and it's bullshit, dude.
Is it going to bug? Like it's going to make me sad?
Maybe.
I hope.
So it's called the Absurdity Quiz. Question 1. What is the official language of Nonsensica? A. Gibberish, spelled with a G.
Okay.
B. Gibberish, spelled with a J.
Okay.
C. Gobbledygook. Spelled just whatever.
Yeah, I think that's racist.
Well, yeah, if you take out the gobbledy, yeah, it's racist, but we just don't say it. I'll be the only one in trouble. Or D, blabber blab.
Of nonsensica? It's gibberish with a G.
Ooh, unfortunately, it's C, the racist answer. Nonsensica, they're known for their lack of...
Sons of bitches.
Diplomacy. How many calories are there in a rainbow? A, 42. B, none. Rainbows are fat-free. C, it depends on the color. D, caloric content is inversely proportional to the number of leprechauns present.
It's the leprechaun one.
It's B, rainbows are fat-free, which is technically true.
They're light.
It's made of light. 3, what is the primary export of the land of Bizarria? A, rubber chickens, B, square wheels, C, invisible ink, or D, left-handed screwdrivers?
Invisible ink.
Rubber chickens. In which month do elephants traditionally celebrate their annual talent show? A, January, B, Eletember, C, Marching Banduary, or D, Marchy Dermber?
I like Marching Banduary.
Yeah, I like that too.
What's the last one though?
Oh, let me just get...
Marchy Dermber?
Yeah, sorry, Marchy Dermber.
What is the answer?
The answer is Eletember.
Eletember? That's so dumb.
Yes. What is the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
African swallow or European swallow?
Unladen swallow.
Yeah. But is it an African swallow or a European swallow?
That is actually B. I'm not kidding you. A is 24 miles per hour. Can you see my screen?
No.
A is 24 miles per hour. B is African or European. C is the speed of light. Or D, swallows don't fly, they teleport.
It's B.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Happening here. How do you catch a squirrel? A, climb a tree and wait. B, use a nut-shaped net. C, I've lost it. Recite Shakespeare in a squirrel costume. Or D, ask politely and hope for the best.
I think it's A?
No. It's D, ask politely and hope for the best. For a second there, when you said the African or European thing, you scared me.
Well, so there's a scene in Monty Python's Holy Grail when they encounter a wizard who's blocking their path on a bridge. And
does he ask them that very question?
They have to answer his questions. His name is Tim. And they have to answer Tim's questions.
Ah, yes, of course.
And one of the questions is, what is the average airspeed velocity of a swallow? And they said African or European. And Tim doesn't know whether what he's asking is about an African or European swallow. And he flies off the bridge.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. So it's because in the movie, they didn't have enough money to actually get horses when they made the movie.
What?
Yeah, they're supposed to be riding around on horseback. They're knights.
They're preposterous.
But they didn't have the money to get real horses, so they go around clapping coconut shells together.
Oh.
To make the horse sound.
That's beautiful.
And then they said, well, where did you get coconut shells? They're not native. Coconuts aren't native to Europe. How did you get them? And they said, well, a swallow could have brought them. It was how is a swallow going to carry a coconut? It could grip it by the husk. And there's a whole bit about how they got the coconuts.
I've never seen anything.
I don't know. The AI just copped something from Monty Python there.
That's true.
I have the answer to your quiz, by the way.
Well, what is the national sport of Sillyland? You know what? Let's just stop this.
I want to know what the national sport of Sillyland is, because this sounds like something Houston would have made up.
It's hide and seek and forget.
Is that where you forget that somebody's hiding and you just stay hiding forever because you forget to go find them?
Yeah. What's the main ingredient in a UFO smoothie? It's alien goo.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Why did the chicken join a rock band? The answer to this is foul play on words. That doesn't make sense.
No. Well, it's chicken play on words.
What is a group of unicorns called? And is this true? A blessing.
Probably. Oh, yeah, that's probably right. A blessing of unicorns.
What captain am I? This podcast is a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
It's an advertisement for AI. AI sucks. That was the dumbest fucking game. I'm mad at it, dude.
Okay, so which captain do you think you are?
Jonathan Archer?
You are 100% correct. You are Jonathan Archer.
Actually?
Yep. You have a curious spirit and an unquenchable desire to experience new cultures. You recognize that the only viable path forward is the one we take together, and it is what we learn on the journey that will ensure our safe arrival.
And I'm kind of dumb. Plus, I love water polo.
Yeah. Why do they give like every
captain's got to have a special interest?
Yeah, but like, why do they pick such like obscure ones?
Because I think it's something that the actor likes.
Is it? Do you think that's where they're like, what's your hobby? He's like, well, I play water polo.
Yeah, I think
I'm in a men's adult league.
I think basically after Patrick Stewart, like he came in and he was like, I would like my character to enjoy Shakespeare and Earl Grey tea, and like would just like put his own self. Really injected himself into the character, and after that they were like, we should fucking just keep this going. That's what I assume happened. And then by the time they got to Discovery, fucking what's his face, Sam Beckett, I can't remember his real name, just his other character's name, was like, I love water polo, and they were like, fuck. You fucked it all, dude. And I like that show.
Could you like horse polo? Like we could do that on the holodeck. Could you like actual polo? No. It's got to be water polo.
Got to be water polo. Like he's like watching replays in his ready room constantly. Just being like, oh, and he's like always got a ball with him. And he's like, come on, Trip. Don't you love a little water polo?
It's just so weird.
Yeah. Fucking dumb.
I have some hockey stories that I'd like to discuss before we end this.
Okay. I'd love to.
Do you know about Cody Hodgson?
Is that the fella that was put on waivers, picked up by Montreal from Pittsburgh?
No.
Oh.
Cody Hodgson played 328 games in the NHL.
Okay.
And then retired because he was diagnosed with malignant hyperthermia. Hyperthermia.
What is hyperthermia?
Right. So hyperthermia.
Sounds like a guy that can't say hypothermia. She's got a case of the old hyperthermia there, Chester.
Yeah, it's a type of severe reaction that usually occurs in response to like medications that are used during anesthesia. Oh, so he probably was having like a surgery and had anesthesia for the surgery.
And then almost burned up.
So like what it means is like your body temperature out of nowhere just skyrockets.
Yeah, I figured it out.
And you get like muscle cramped into like rigid stuff and your heart just starts pounding like crazy.
Oh no.
And he had to retire. Well, that was 8 years ago. He is now playing for the Milwaukee Admirals and scored his first professional goal.
Hell yeah.
Since coming back.
Good for him. That's nice. I like that. I love a Cinderella story.
Yep. He had a little short run with the Leafs.
Oh. I can't remember names, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking a loser.
This dude, what is his name? His name is Tillman Fertitta.
Okay.
He's a billionaire.
Okay.
And owns the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
And he
Let me guess, he wants a fucking hockey team?
He wants a hockey team in Houston.
Yeah, good idea. Gary Bettman probably thinks it's a fucking good idea.
The next step for for revitalizing downtown Houston, right? Because Houston only has 3 of the 4 major sports teams. You need all 4 to be a real metropolitan city.
Yeah, but hockey's not really a major sport anymore.
It's one of the 4.
Yeah, but it's different now. It's niche, dude.
I don't know.
Do you
think they should allow another team down in the south of the U.S.?
I think they should move the Coyotes. Like, if they're going to try out another, the quote-unquote non-traditional hockey market. I mean, like, Texas is kind of proven, right? But if you're going to put another team where, like, it's kind of a question mark, move Phoenix or Arizona, right? Like, you fucking failed.
Yeah.
Like, Austin Matthews is not going to save the state, you know, like the state's hockey program. Like, it's going to get better because of him and Nyes and like guys that are coming out. It's not going to
be enough.
But it's not going to be enough.
It's not going to make people in Arizona go, there's a guy from Arizona who's really good at hockey. We should start watching a team that he's not on.
Yeah. And they Leafs played Arizona last night.
Yeah.
It was like 75% Leafs fans.
Yeah. And they play in a college hockey rink.
Yeah. It's like, you tried it. It fucking failed. They took a literal vote. And the state was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
They're like, please let us build an arena. And they're like, no. Still up in the air. Move that fucking team.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think they should move to Hartford.
I think they should move to Fartford. Anywhere but Arizona.
I want the Whalers back.
You want the Fartford Sniffers back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Austin Matthews becomes the fastest U.S.-born player to score 50 goals in a season.
Isn't that something?
It wasn't that long ago that you and I were watching a Leafs game and you were very excited about the prospect of Matthews getting to 50.
Yeah.
Like, it was going to be it was a big deal. Like, by the end of the year to get to 50.
Yeah.
It's not even the trade deadline.
He's fucking incredible.
And he's at 50.
Yeah.
Like, how many goals is he going to score this year?
I don't know.
75?
He's going to actually lose one.
He's going to end up with 49.
No, he's at 51.
Oh, he got
another one in that game last night. Yeah, Mitch Marner played the puck off his chest and went in. You know what's the weirdest thing about that stat? Like, natural or American born hockey player? It has to be that specific. Like, they can't just be like American player, because Brett Hull did better than that.
Right.
But wasn't born in the US despite being an American citizen.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Austin
I don't
Matthews
know why it
doesn't
matters.
deserve fucking MVP, man.
Can't you just say he's like the second fastest guy to get to 50 or something?
I don't know.
Why does it matter that he's American? Like,
that's probably so you can like not include like Gretzky and fucking, all the fantastic old Canadians.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they should just, what they should say is like, he's the fastest guy in the salary cap era.
Yeah, I've seen people divide stats like that, and like some stats you definitely need to divide because of just the way the game has changed so much. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah. Seems like we're getting back to a place where people are going to be able to start fucking getting
fastest to 50 in the butterfly era, something. Right?
Yeah, the butterfly era was easily the most beautiful era in all hockey. Way better than the caterpillar era.
What if the caterpillar era, we were in the caterpillar era, we got to the chrysalis era.
Yeah.
And we were all expecting a butterfly, and what we ended up with is a moth.
Yeah. What would moth style goaltending be?
I don't
just like jump out and eat your sweater.
I think it's what Alex Lyon does. Where it's just like not anywhere near the crease and sort of flopping around all over the place. Yeah. Like maybe that's Dominic Hasek style.
Yeah, could be.
Right? Just like sort of I'm just going to lay down and flail and stop a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Or fucking, what's that guy? Mike Palmateer. All over the place.
I have a gift for you.
And I have a gift for you.
I saw it.
Who
would you like to go first?
Oh, the Leafs scored. Who did it? It looks like it might have come from McCabe. I would like to watch your gift first.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's your mom saying something to me. That scares me a little.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. My gift will require a little explanation.
Dear Cage, I am writing to discuss a matter that has been troubling me recently. Our sons, Fritz and Houston, have been having some difficulties, and I believe it is important for us to address the situation together. It has come to my attention that Houston has been bullying Fritz online. The incidents include name-calling, threats of physical violence. As a mother, I am deeply concerned about the impact this is having on Fritz's well-being and emotional state. I understand that your husband has been instigating this bullying by Houston. Bullying is harmful. It affects not only the victim, but also the perpetrator. I kindly request that we work together to address this issue promptly. Here are some steps I propose. Open communication. You should explain to your husband that this behavior is unacceptable. Supervision. It is my understanding that this is occurring while you are at work. Perhaps a nanny can provide direct supervision to your husband while he is supervising your son. Teaching empathy. It is essential for Houston to learn empathy and kindness. Consistent discipline. It is necessary. We should implement consistent discipline for any further incidents. This could involve time out, loss of privileges, such as taking away his train, or appropriate consequences. As parents, we share the responsibility of raising compassionate and respectful children.
This is long.
I believe that by
I cut a lot out too.
Together, we can create a positive environment for both. Please let me know your thoughts on this matter. I'm committed to finding a solution that benefits both families and ensures our children's well-being. Thank you for understanding and cooperating. Susan.
That's wonderful, Fritzy. First of all, your mom looks really young. Like, you look like you're the same age as your mom.
Oh, thanks.
Not that you look old. I just know that you are. But here's the funniest part about that.
Yeah.
So this is in reference to a song that is a gift to you that I gave to you during the episode we did with Calvin.
Yeah.
Which, are we going to release that next week?
Yeah.
Or is... Oh, okay.
I have to.
Yeah, well, now you do.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I realized that I had to do that because I did this and I was like, well, that one's got to come out first. So this one will come out next.
Well, then it's great. I just want to say Calvin was a great guest. He was as sick as humanly possible.
Yes, he was.
Now, my gift requires a little explanation.
Okay.
So you were on Twitch the other day.
Oh, shit.
And some bullies came in.
I did get bullied.
And they bullied you.
I'm getting bullied a lot, all over the place.
You are getting bullied. But everybody in the chat thought it was me, but it was mean. It was actually like really mean stuff. Like, they told you to jump up and down so they could see your titties bounce.
Mm-hmm. Which I'll only do that for you in private.
And that's information that I need the audience to know before you hear my gift. Which is really going to make it seem like it was me now. But it wasn't.
You son of a bitch! I love you so much, sitting to the shade and told that I saw your personality that's disorder. Gonna make it your problem. That wasn't me the other day on Twitch. I would never say that kind of stupid shit, but I would still love to see you jump. Cause I fucking love when you have fun. I'd love to see you bounce, love to see you bounce, love to see you bounce, love to see you have some fucking fun.
That one's actually nice. Wasn't that actually nice?
That was very nice. It was very nice.
I don't know if you could understand the lyrics.
Yeah, I got most of it.
Yeah.
From Disorder on.
Okay. Well, it says, Fritzy, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's typical starting introduction between us.
And then it says, I love you so much, I have to treat you like shit.
Yeah, okay. That
It's called antisocial personality disorder.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then it goes into disorder.
Yeah, I like it.
But that wasn't me on Twitch.
Well, I honestly don't think it was.
Thank God. Feel like now you do.
No, I think it was Houston.
He wishes. In his dreams, he could be as big a bully as me.
He just, he hates me so much. I had to cry to my mom.
He doesn't.
I called my mom and I was like, you'll never believe what happened.
I did have a word with him and say, listen, these aren't nice things that you're saying right now. It's for a joke.
It's just...
And we don't repeat these things to anyone. We don't threaten people at school with this kind of stuff. You never tell someone you're going to push them in front of a train. But you can say choo-choo buddy. It's the Hootie Express.
That is the best.
If you're on a train.
By the way, that song lives on repeat in my head all the time because it is perfect. It is amazing. Jenny wants to make it her ringtone, her alarm clock, her everything. She just wants choo choo buddy. It's the Hootie Express everywhere. It is amazing.
Yeah, I'm really proud of myself and my son.
Yeah, you should be. You should be, because it's great.
All I can do now is just like write these like quick songs that are...
Yeah. Well, you're very good at it.
I mean, I don't think they're very good, but they're very fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to talk hockey for a second?
No, we're done.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
I listen to this podcast a lot with these fellas. They just talk after every Leaf game. And I was listening to one 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, and they were like, our intro sucks. And they're like, if anybody wants to write us a new intro, do it. And I was like, I love this podcast 100%. So I wrote them yeah. And they used it last night.
They did?
Yeah. It was really fun and funny.
That's great.
Yeah. I had a fucking fun. I woke up and James Myrtle was following me on Twitter, who is like, fucking Leafs journalist or whatever, writer.
Beat writer.
Like, I've followed him for fucking ever. He's great. But like, just woke up and like looked at my notifications. It was like, James Myrtle follows you now. And I was like, fucking what?
I love how, like for me, like when a guest on our show will follow me on like Instagram or something, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And for you, it's like Leafs beat writer follows you on Twitter and you're like, oh my God.
I'm fucking stiff as a board, light as a feather. So we're gonna put the poll on the Patreon. So vote on the winner. Yeah, or climb on top of it and rotate.
That's gonna do it for today. So I will tell you to eat shit and go fuck yourself.
And I will tell you to eat shit and go fuck yourself.
And we'll both eat shit and we'll both fuck ourselves. And we'll see you guys next week.
Go to Patreon. Give us your money. Yay!
picture from your...
Is he she?